Families of the Sandy Hook victims have reached a $73 million settlement with gunmaker Remington. It's the company that made the AR-15 styled weapon used in the deadly mass school shooting nearly 10 years ago. It is a landmark settlement, one of the largest between gun companies and the victims of mass shootings. The 9 families involved with the agreement say their main goal is to prevent another mass shooting.
Today is a day of accountability for an industry that has thus far enjoyed operating with immunity and impunity. And for this, I am grateful.
The lawsuit alleged Remington irresponsibly marketed the weapon to at-risk young men. Remington has denied those allegations and has not responded to NBC News' request for comment on this settlement with Sandy Hook families. Let's bring in Kris Brown for more on this. Kris is the president of Brady United Against Gun Violence, and she is a lawyer. Kris, good to have you with us. I understand you offered some early assistance in this case, but you weren't heavily involved in it, right?
Yes, we filed an amicus brief, and the theory of the case related to the marketing and sales of the assault weapon by Remington is one that Brady has litigated for over 30 years successfully in the courts. So we're hugely happy about this victory today and view it as a roadmap for similar litigation by far too many individuals in this country who lose their lives, who lose loved ones because of preventable gun violence.
I mean, what do you think this means, especially for the victims' families, these parents who lost their children at Sandy Hook nearly 10 years ago? What does this mean for them?
Well, first of all, you can never bring your child back. And I think I've heard many parents, far too many that I know who are friends of mine, say for even 1 second more with their child, there is no amount of money that could possibly compensate that loss. But we do live in a country where we promise justice for individuals who are harmed, but preventively by corporate activity. And at least yesterday, that promise was fulfilled. For far too many, it has been denied for far too long because this industry, the gun industry, is one of the few industries, the only industry in this country that Congress, because of the NRA, tried to prevent any victim from ever suing. So this is a victory for justice, and it's a victory for far too many families who've been denied the court system as a means to change behavior. And we think it will. We think this will change behavior of the industry, and it needs to happen.
You mentioned, I mean, this case was seen as a path around federal gun laws, which protect gun manufacturers from liability. You say this could be a roadmap for future cases. What does that look like? I mean, do you envision that after we have shootings like this, we're just going to see more lawsuits than we've seen before? What is that roadmap moving forward?
Well, the kinds of marketing that the plaintiffs demonstrated occurred here is really egregious. Communications out in papers and publications to say, get your man card here, research that was shown in Discovery to really try to appeal to young men aggressively around the type of things that can happen, including with video games and other kinds of marketing. Ideally, what we see is that kind of aggressive marketing stop altogether. But if they're not going to internalize the risk that their products create all over the country, this is mass murderers' weapons of choice, are these AR-type weapons, then we will continue to sue and make them change the manner and way that they market and research and try to sell these products that are uniquely lethal.
A key part of this deal includes the release of internal company documents. We're tight on time here, but quickly, why was that so important?
Because it shows what the gun manufacturers have been trying to hide, that it's not just happenstance that the marketing of these weapons seem uniquely marketed to young people, especially troubled people, but that's actually the intent. That's what they're trying to do. In the end, we have to think about these gun manufacturers as entities that are trying to sell as much product to as many people, and it doesn't matter the cost. This litigation seeks to internalize that cost, and it needs to happen.
Kris Brown, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate it.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.